I think nothing changes. You want to win every game, and I think the best way, well, the only way we win this group is by winning both games. So, immaterial of what happened last night, our aim still is to win both games.
And just, I'd like to get a little bit of insight. The last two games, in the last run of games, obviously, win and draw, ended on a really, really good note. What learnings, what positives did you take from those two performances that you're going to be able to build on now going into these last two games?
I think the results, we put in a fantastic performance against Scotland, deservedly won. The Ukraine game away, it's a tough game, but we more than deserved the point. And I think the two previous games maybe it was a bit flat, but the last two games, the way we performed, the way we stuck together, and some of the football that we played and some of the goals that were scored, I think we've just got to build on that and just keep heading in that direction, and the confidence out there is as high as I've ever seen it in an Irish team. So I think it's just knowing that we can do it, and just to believe that that's how we want to play, and the more we do, hopefully the results like that will come more regular.
Paul, please.
You're going into these games a real high after your club form. Do you feel now, Scott, you're reaching your point with Birmingham that you're peaking now?
I don't like to think of peaking. I'd like to think I'm improving. I'm happy now at my club, which is the first time I've been able to say that in 4 or 5 years. So I feel comfortable. I'm allowed to be myself, and I think more, like I said, the main thing is I'm happy finally. I feel happy playing my football. I enjoy going in. So in terms of peaking, I hope not. We always want to keep going, getting better. I'm obviously aware that I'm 30 now, so it's around this time you generally do peak, as they say. But I'm hoping that I can keep going. As I look after myself, so hopefully it's just the start.
Of strikers' goals are everything, aren't they?
Yeah, 1,000,000%. Yeah, obviously, because otherwise you wouldn't be a striker. You're judged on goals, and I failed in that aspect over the past few years. And I generally do feel that if I'm not happy, I'm not going. Well, it may be the same for everyone, but like I say, it's the first time I've felt happy in a number of years.
Neil O'Riordan, please.
Hi Scott, I know every player has challenges in their careers, but it seems in yours that the highs have been particularly high and the lows quite low. Has that been kind of difficult to deal with mentally?
I try and keep myself in a steady state regardless. But you are quite right in what you say. They've been high and then they've been low. And when you look back, thinking of it, is there a way that I can keep in that steady state? But I try not to think too much about it. I can't change what's happened. So if I start worrying about things or thinking about things, then it's only going to create more lows going forward. But I think, like I said, the club and country, I feel in a happy place. It's great environments to be in. So hopefully there's plenty more highs coming.
And you went close to 2.5 years without a cap. How significant was it to get that start against Ukraine in the last game of the summer, to start a competitive qualifier in the season?
Yeah, it was totally unexpected. I remember speaking to the manager. I don't think I'd started a club game for the 3 months previous to that. So it was out of the blue. But it just showed that there's always a way back in, as long as you're performing. Robbie Brady's back in this time. The manager is, if you're playing well, he will pick you. So it was massive to get the start, obviously, after so long. And as you get older and you think, I'm not performing at club, is that going to come around again? But the manager proves that if you're playing well or whatever, he will pick you. So hopefully I can keep playing well in club and then transfer it into the country.
Sean, please.
Hi Scott, yourself and Chidoze are the most informed attackers coming into this window. Will you feel a bit hard done by if you didn't start on Saturday?
No. I think you've got to look at the last performances. You know, the two lads who played against Scotland, you know, they're outstanding. Robbo scored plenty of goals. He's done well. Obviously, you want to start. I can't feel hard done by. You know, I've just got to keep working, and if I do play or if I come on or whatever, I've got to try and do something. But I think whoever's playing, I think there's real potential for goals. So you'd be disappointed, but I can't feel hard done by because the lads before me have performed to a high standard.
Just under John now at Birmingham, do you feel that you're in the best position possibly in your career so far to cement your place in the squad for Euro 24 qualifying next March?
Hopefully, yeah. I mean, I'd love nothing more than that. But the club form has to maintain a high level. I'm aware of that. And obviously John was here and then he's coming to Birmingham. You know, I've got a great relationship with him. And he wants me to do well here. You know, I've spoke to him since I've come out. And it's just a case of, we're all professional footballers, we want to play as high as possible, we want to perform as high as possible. And it comes down to what you do when you pull on the green jersey as well. So if I can perform at some point over the next couple of games, then that would be ideal. And then to go back to my club and to keep doing that, then hopefully that could happen.
David, please.
Scott, how are you? You said earlier that the confidence is as high as ever that you can remember. What do you put that down to?
I'd say results, isn't it? Like, you know, I've been part of, you know, squads, successful teams with huge players for the country who've been phenomenal. There's a lot of younger lads in this group, so it's like a lot of fresh energy in and around the place. You know, everyone's close. It is enjoyable to come in. You know, there's groups here and there within the hotel that stick together, but everyone comes together at the end of the day. So I think it feels like a youthful sort of energy. So I mean, there's lads who've played with the 21s all the way up through the age group. So it is a really enjoyable environment. So I mean, there's positivity from everywhere, and that can only stand us in good stead.
What's making you feel a bit younger? You're not feeling 40?
No, there's still a few older boys than me. Like, I still look around and see a few older heads. So 30 is what it is nowadays, isn't it?
Stephen Kenny made the point last week when he named the squad that he actually phoned you on the day that you scored the hat-trick against West Brom on the day of the game as you would normally do. Is that something, is there a regular contact between you, or is that just a one-off?
No, he for me personally, I can only speak for myself, but he does ring, you know, when squads are announced, if you're not in or you're in, and he'll ring you and explain his decision, whether it's good or bad news for yourself. But yeah, spoke to him. He rang me on the way, he texted me on the Wednesday, and then I rang him back and just had a brief chat with him. And obviously Dara was captain in West Brom, so there was a little bit of banter on the phone about that, and he did say don't go around kicking him, you know, just take the one goal, you know, I don't want his confidence going and end up winning, scoring 3. So but no, he does ring up and he'll go through his process with you, so you understand what his thinking is.
John Fallon, please.
Scott, just going back to the Ukraine game, Steve was talking about it last week. He said a bit of a surprise to recall. He thought it didn't click maybe because physically was an issue. Just tell us a bit about that. And, you know,
well, yeah, I mean, I spoke to him and literally just spoke to him this morning, and he sort of said to me if we was to play that Ukraine game tomorrow, it'd be a totally different story. And as I alluded to earlier, I think my last club start was end of January. Through one thing or another that happened at club level, I didn't start a game. It might have been February, so I was 3 months without, you know, a competitive start, and that was limited to 10-15 minutes on the bench. So for nearly 4 months, I haven't started a game. So you're professional athletes, you stay in shape, but comes to a point where you need to be playing regular to be up to a certain speed, and they're a good side. So I felt I struggled physically. It was quite humid, but you know, there's no excuses. I hadn't been playing regular enough, and it affected my physically, you know, my fitness levels. So it's just a reminder, you need to play regular football to be able to play at that level at least. So the gaffer knew that going into it, and he still put me in, and you know, I give it what I could, but I was just a yard off it essentially, which is to be expected.
And is it like international football at that level? Is it top tier, sort of top 6 championship standards, even in the Premier League? Would you notice that step up?
Oh no, it's the biggest step up than that. You know, like the top. You look at the top of the championship. There's international footballers all over the place. You know, but it's just a different level. It's mentally draining as well, because you're constantly having to think, concentrate, and where you should be, what they're going to do. And the international footballers are gifted footballers, so it becomes difficult. And then to add on top of that, the speed, the power, the strength of some of the boys that you come up against, it's a whole different league really. So it was a big step up to do it after so long not playing, and caught me out a little bit. And you know, I'm man enough to admit that.
Finally from Philip.
Your days of looking at heavy tyres are long gone, Scott, and big tyres. I know you've driven past that factory, but walking off the pitch after scoring the hat-trick against West Brom, what was the feeling like? Was there a little bit of, I waited a long time for this?
To be fair, I waited a long time. I think my last one was 5 years ago. I have waited a long time, but I wasn't thinking that. I mean, it is cliche to say, like, you think of the team, because it got to 3-2 in the game, and I was thinking, we can't lose this now. You know, if we draw, it's not going to feel the same. But it was back-to-back wins, and at Birmingham we hadn't had that for 12 months. So it's great to score a hat-trick, but it's no good scoring a hat-trick and then not scoring for 5 or 6 games. You know, so obviously I was delighted, but my initial thought was, I need to score the next game. And you know, to keep it going. But I can't do it. The type of player I am, you know, I can't do it without people behind me. So, I mean, I was delighted, absolutely, yeah. But it's just nice to have a winning feeling at Birmingham for once.
An Irish goal, knocking on the door.
Yeah.
Irish goal.
Yeah, I hope so.
Just end up.
I hope so, yeah.